Hello again, rail fans. It's Travis from RockRiverRails, and today we are at Illinois Central College in East Peoria, Illinois for the Peoria Train Fair. So a model railroad show. Gonna go inside and check that out and see what they have to offer. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment on the video. I would love to hear what you think. So let's go inside and take a look at what they've got. So now that we've arrived on campus, we're going to head on inside and check out the Peoria Train Fair. It is presented by the River City Model Railroad Club. So right away, when we enter the building, we get in line to purchase our tickets. And we discover right away there are multiple tables and vendors set up within hallways of the college. So most of the tables and vendors are within hallways, and then later on we will expand into the cafeteria. But right away here we've got some HO scale, O gauge, some Lionel, some Caterpillar, construction equipment, and then your typical loose rolling stock, and some very detailed buildings here for sale as well, about $5 and $10 a piece, so very reasonable. And then on the loose rolling stock, we've got about $5 a piece for every car. Moving along, we've got some train line for $10, and then more assorted buildings for $5 and $10. And more loose rolling stock for $5 a piece. You can't beat these prices. Also have some N scale, right around $5 a piece for rolling stock. And more loose HO scale, $5 a piece. Moving on, this section here is a little bit better quality of rolling stock items. And also some locomotives. We have Wisconsin and Central and Union Pacific for about $100 a piece for a motor. And then more locomotives here in this picture as well. We've got some Rapido, looks like passenger cars for about $75 a piece. And another picture of those along with some Intermountain rolling stock, some Athearn Genesis rolling stock as well. We've got some spine cars here. These are sets, it looks like, for about $75 for a set. Also some exact rail there for $35. We've got some Athearn Genesis hoppers, $35. Looks like some flat cars there, or center beams with loads, I think it was. And then moving along, we've got some building kits, $10 a piece or so. And then this vendor also had some photos for sale. Got some steam and some Metra in the mix there. We've got some locomotives here. The Proto 2000 series for about $65 a piece. And then various rolling stock and locomotives in this picture to take a look at. And keep in mind, if the pictures or videos are going too fast, always feel free to pause the video and get a better look. So some Woodland Scenics there. We've got some hoppers here for $60 for the set. And various trackage, switches, turnouts, and so forth. We've got some vehicles for sale, averaging about $10 a piece. Some containers, about $5. Various parts for $1 there, or $2 in that other bin. Some more vehicles. We've got some buses, fire trucks, about $15 a piece there. And others as well in the mix for different prices. Some more N scale in this picture here with the prices. Three Brothers Manufacturing Milwaukee Road passenger cars, $35 a piece. And then we've got some steam locomotives for sale here as well. You can take a look at those prices if you're interested in those. We've got a BNSF locomotive here for $225 with DCC and sound. And more steam locomotives if you enjoy modeling steam era engines and so forth. More steam era here with prices included. This nice Union Pacific 7015, $250. Another one with DCC and sound. Not a bad price there, $135 for the Burlington route. So this vendor here had a lot of steam, which is nice to see for those folks who like to model the steam era. Continuing on with that theme here as well. Some more steam with some diesel intermingled. And then getting on to some early diesel locomotives here, averaging about $40 a piece or so. We've got some C&W switchers, $40 a piece, so good prices from what we've seen so far here. We've got Rock Island in the mix, Northern Pacific, Burlington Northern. We've got a Atlas Master Locomotive Series, Bicentennial. Looks like $200 on that. Some Kansas City Southern locomotives, 6-axle and 4-axle power. And these prices weren't on the open boxes, so sorry about that, guys. I'm assuming around 50 to 75 on some of these as well. So we've got some Kato in the line here, some UP and Santa Fe locomotives, and then back to the various rolling stock for $5 each. Continuing on with that theme here, these cars are in decent shape, may require new wheels and trucks and couplers, but for $5, you can't really beat that for rolling stock. So a large variety of $5 cars to choose from. Continuing on with that here as well. And more various items for your layout, electronics, scenery, and so forth. More of that here for about $5 on average. So a little bit of everything at this show so far, and quite a bit of HO scale, which is what I model. So very nice start to the show. Also some woodland scenics, various people and figures and animals. We've got some drawings and so forth, if you're into that sort of thing, and literature and books. A large variety of vehicles in various scales. And more of that here. Looks like about $10 a piece on the vehicles, with the different manufacturers and varieties and models to choose from. So we've got some blue box for sale here, as well as some Atlas, and then some passenger cars as well. More Athearn blue box here. Very affordable show so far, with a lot of variety for everybody. So we've got some kits here, some box cars and some hoppers and so forth. If you like to put together kits, we have several of those here for under $20 a piece, it looks like. Stepping up the quality a little bit here in these kits. So pretty much putting the underbody on, your wheels, trucks, couplers, to get those kits up and running, maybe adding some weight, get those up to standards for the National Model Railroad Association standards. So here it looks like we've got DDA 40X. Maybe a couple of those, it looks like there. Some C&W. Various locomotives here on the shelving in different scales as well. So lots of HO locomotives. Got some EMD demonstrators. SP, New York Central, CP. So a lot of railroads covered. Illinois Central Gulf, Amtrak. Another shot of some more locomotives. Got a General Electric -9 demonstrator, Santa Fe high hoods, and then even a good variety of Thomas the Train steam engines and so forth for the children. And fitting, as we are in Peoria, Illinois, lots of Caterpillar for sale, and then more of the Thomas the Train kids' locomotives, and so forth. Moving along, we've got a variety of things here, some railroad memorabilia, some coffee cups, match books, looks like some playing cards for Amtrak. That's kind of cool. And then some N-scale rolling stock here for about $10 or less. So good prices there. A large variety of N-scale at this show as well. And various other items scattered about. So this was our first time at this show here in Peoria, the Peoria Train Fair. And so far, liking what we are seeing. Lots of HO scale for sale and lots of different quality standards, you know, your cheap $5 cars and on up. So you can go all the way up in quality at this show here. Lots of locomotives as well. So keep in mind, we are currently in the hallway of whatever building the show is located in here today. So it's a little bit tight getting through the hallway with the vendors on both sides, and then the show attendees trying to go up and down the aisles, but not complaining. It's a train show and we will take it. So back to the sales, various locomotives here, under $30 to get you up and running. Continuing that price point here as well. And then again, various roads, different types of locomotives for under $30 here. This is probably the most steam I've seen in a while at a show, so if you attended this show and you're into steam, this was the one for you. So here we've got some O-gauge along with power packs and controllers. A lot of old stuff here if you're needing parts or replacement controllers. Lots available here in O-gauge for you in Peoria. And then I really thought this vendor was unique with various depots and railroad buildings from different locations. We've got Mendota, Illinois. I've been there quite a bit. Streeter, Ashland, been there. So very cool to have these depots and these interlocking towers preserved in this photography. So very nice. It's nice to see that history being preserved. So Chillicothe, I've been there. Peoria, where we are today. Edelstein, been there as well. Galesburg, been there. So Knoxville, been there as well. So check these guys out. Here's some of their information if you're interested in their photography. Back to the vendors, more Lionel, O-gauge, trackage, controllers, and so forth. Various rolling stock. So lots of older Lionel here. Continuing on, more O gauge with the prices. So feel free to pause the video like I said earlier if you need to get a better look at a price or some details from these photos. So more Lionel, brand new it looks like here in the boxes. And then at this point in the show, we are finally opening up out of the hallways and moving into more of a cafeteria area. So a really nice detailed building here. I really like that. And then we've got various O gauge, I believe this is here, $10 and up. American Flyer in the mix. And then various model car kits. Nice to see those. I know me and my dad are into model cars as well, so it was nice to see these models at this show. And then along with that, some model trucks as well. And more Lionel, averaging under $20 in those bins there. More Lionel O gauge. Continuing on, more Lionel O gauge with some K-line in the mix. So lots and lots of Lionel at this show. Some locomotives, passenger cars. A closer up picture here. Got a nice Canadian Pacific locomotive 7307 there in front, as well as some steam. Like I keep saying, lots of steam options for those who model the steam era at this Peoria, Illinois show here today. Even have a Burger King locomotive there. That's pretty unique. So let me know in the comments what you think about the prices, what you think about the inventory, and what the vendors had for sale. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. And if you take the time to leave me a comment, and even if you don't, definitely take the time to like the video and definitely subscribe to the RockRiverRails channel. We would greatly appreciate your subscription. It is free, and it helps us grow and keep the content coming for you, the viewer. So definitely appreciate if you would subscribe. Moving along here now, lots of N scale, even down in the $4 range, so you can't beat that. Even though I'm not into N scale particularly, I like to model HO scale. I do make Christmas ornaments out of N scale rolling stock and locomotives. So $4, tie a piece of fishing line around the rolling stock, and you've got yourself a nice Christmas ornament for under $5 or so, even under $10. You know, you can't get Hallmark railroad Christmas ornaments for what, under $30, if that. So They are pricey, so why not make your own? And then you get a larger variety as well. So lots of great prices. Look at that, even $2 on N scale rolling stock. So I grabbed myself a Chessie system caboose for a Christmas ornament. So can't wait to get that on the tree next year. So moving along, we've got some AccuRail rolling stock here. I don't think I caught the prices on these. They weren't really visible. So sorry about that, guys. You may see a few prices, but I would say these are under $20. Got some locomotives as well here. More rolling stock. A good amount of AccuRail. Moving along, we've got various vehicles for $5 each, along with some excavators for $28. Some fire trucks, UPS delivery trucks. We've got a Conrail open auto rack here for $45 with some very nice weathering effects. Various trailers, containers, and vehicles under $10. And then more locomotives. Illinois Central, Union Pacific. They had some Maersk Wells, articulated well cars. This looks like a homemade job here. The coloring is a bit off. You can really see the clear part of the decal. And these are $65 a piece, so a little bit more than retail on those. You can get those brand new for about $175. So moving along, we've got some Proto 2000, some Concord in the mix as well, Atlas. Got a Wisconsin and Southern 4-axle locomotive there in the background. So good variety on your motive power here at this show. More Proto 2000, about $60 or so it looks like. Got some scale trains, kit classics. Lots of Proto 2000 at this vendor, along with some Intermountain as well. And a good amount of rolling stock for $20 or less. More rolling stock here. Got some Iowa Interstate in there as well. Looks like some containers. Also looks like a homemade job on those. And lots of tank cars as well. More kits in the mix. I did spot those Triple Crowns in the background there and bought all 4 of those. So that was a great find for me and made the 2.5 hour drive to this show well worth it. So was really happy to score those Triple Crown road railers. Got various boxcars here. Looks like they're a bit weathered for $5. Can't beat that. Lots of Walther's mainline rolling stock. Under $20. And then some Walther's Cornerstone building kits. About $25 a piece. That's close to retail there. And then various Athearn Blue Box rolling stock, along with other various manufacturers. This was a very nice piece here, a Rio Grande passenger car for $100. And then more Proto 2000. Some Rio Grande power in the mix, as well as some switchers. Some containers, more rolling stock. All HO scale here for the most part. Continuing on, we've also got brand new stuff here in the boxes. Some Athearn Genesis, Intermountain. I really liked those red Caboose Tropicanas, but $55 a piece. I had to pass on those. A little bit steep for me. I really got a kick out of this Simpsons boxcar in O gauge for $35. Lionel. So $15 for a piece of rolling stock here, or two for $25, and you save $5. Some more Walther's mainline for under $20. Got some Tangent in the mix for $50. That's pretty standard. I really like that GT boxcar there, with a nice price on that. So, very nice quality rolling stock and locomotives at this vendor here. And then various DVDs, Pentreks. If you're into DVDs, you can find those pretty much at any model railroad show. Various timetables and such. More locomotives, I believe Proto 2000. Some Athearn ready-to-roll locomotives here. Some with DCC and sound, some just DC with no sound. Some Western Pacific, Canadian Pacific, UP, B&O in the mix. We've got some Digitrax components here, along with some locomotives and other various layout and electronic components for sale. More coffee mugs, some older rolling stock here. And various passenger cars, steam locomotives, and rolling stock, I believe, O gauge there. And some NHL hockey teams in HO rolling stock. Some cabooses. Lots of bicentennial rolling stock and locomotives at this show, and lots of other shows that I've been at lately, celebrating, I believe it's the United States' 250th birthday this year. So lots of bicentennial rolling stock and locomotives at a lot of shows I've attended lately to celebrate America's 250th birthday this year. So continuing on with rolling stock and locomotives, lots of older Atlas as well. More loose rolling stock here. Very reasonable prices, $2, $5. You really can't beat that. Got some NFL teams in the mix, Green Bay Packers, Denver Broncos, an HO rolling stock, San Francisco 49ers. More rolling stock, some passenger cars. So a very good variety. Another Rio Grande passenger car, a Rock Island passenger car, brand new in the box. Lots of DCC locomotives here. Looks like all under $200 on those. So a wide variety of prices depending on the quality of the locomotive and the capabilities. So this section here looks like DC only. So definitely going to be cheaper over here. They even had a concession stand, so you could get various items to eat and drink during the show. Back to the vendors. Got some Athearn ready to roll rolling stock here, some Atlas as well, some Walther's train line, a little bit older. This vendor here had lots of Burlington Northern locomotives and rolling stock for sale. Had some scale trains as well in the mix. Some Athearn Genesis as well. So very high quality locomotives and rolling stock at this particular vendor at the show. And then lots of Bowser, Intermountain, hoppers, lots of cabooses, switchers. Moving along, $5 a piece on the boxcars and rolling stock, so you cannot beat that price. Very nice weathering job on these Class 1 Model Works auto racks. I really like those with the weathering and the graffiti. The Railway and Locomotive Historical Society attended the show, so we appreciate you attending the show today. Thanks for coming out. So moving along, various rolling stock. Looks like a lot of them are weathered for under $10. That's a great price on those. Other various rolling stock continuing on. Even got a $1 box there. And we've got a Rio Grande steam train. And more various rolling stock. And model kits there as well. So this vendor had a lot to offer. I really like the weathering on the rolling stock. I should have picked some of those up. Those are great prices there. So various items scattered about here for sale. You can take a look at those and pause the video if you wish. Got some display cases here for models, some Lionel Fast Track for sale. So some O-gauge it looks like at this vendor, along with various books and railroad literature. Got some Athearn coal hoppers there for the Burlington Northern. Walther's proto locomotive, So various items at this vendor here in different scales. And then we've got some thermoses here with railroad wraps and themes on those. Some more coffee mugs, mouse pads, looks like koozies as well. Koozies and coasters for your beverages with your favorite railroad on them. So some neat things at this vendor here that they had to offer. Moving along, more Proto 2000 locomotives. About $50 a piece or so on those. The Union Pacific Switcher, 120 bucks. Also looks like 120 or 150 on the Walthers Proto. Looks like even a B unit or a power car there on that Walthers Proto. And then more various rolling stock for $10 a piece or so. Even got some Montana Rail Link in there. And then more various rolling stock. Some of these also are weathered. So a little bit more expensive on those weathered cars, about $20 or so. And then various older rolling stock here. Not a whole lot at that vendor. We had the Chicago and Northwestern vendor at this show. We have seen them several times. If you've seen our previous videos, this vendor travels pretty well and is at a lot of shows in the Midwest region. So again, nice to see you here in Peoria. We appreciate you attending the show today. They also, at this vendor, have a lot of Metra displays. And of course, the Chicago and Northwestern. So lots of memorabilia as well as things for sale. Here at this vendor, a lot of Milwaukee Road books and memorabilia. Moving along, got some passenger cars and some scenery and building kits with more rolling stock. Lots of open auto racks. So we're moving into some more N scale here. A little bit more pricey on this rolling stock, averaging about $20 or so a piece. Some N-scale locomotives, 125 and under it looks like. Some nice Metra units there. And then this section here is their clearance sale. So various items for, looks like 50% off. Moving along, got some Kato trackage. Lots of Kato at this vendor here. Mostly in N scale. So some very nice pieces at this vendor. So now we're going to take a look at some of the layouts. At the show here today in Peoria, they were more like displays rather than layouts. So looks like they just put this together so people could see some trains in action and moving and so forth. But no real layouts at this show here today.
Oh, you're all good.
So we'll just take a look around and see what they've got here. This table here had some good trackage on it, and it looks like all the buildings and structures were actually purchased at Menards. So if you go back and look at my previous videos, we do cover what Menards offers for sale. And those buildings and structures, a lot of those are incorporated into this scene here today. So got a couple of trains running there. And then next to that table, we've got some trackage here on some pegboard. They show off the various scales and so forth. Got a little rock tunnel and a looks like a bridge there. So I will give them credit. What they did set up is better than nothing. So thank you for that. Got a nice little display here of a few different scales on that passenger car. And then they have a depot here. I believe that is, I think that's a depot anyway, but I believe that is from Menards. And then they also show you the different scales and so forth that you can model for a model railroad layout. So a few different things going on here just to show you what you can do. This was pretty neat here, this AccuTrack. It's almost like a speedometer or a radar, and it simulates miles per hour. And then again, some information on the River City Model Railroad Club. Looks like you can find them on Facebook, so definitely go like their page. And then another simple layout here. I believe this is O gauge. Looks like it with the 3 tracks or the 3 rails. So just a quick look at that, and then moving along here, another HO scale it looks like. Table here. This one does have some scenery on it. Looks like it's got some landscape there with the grass and so forth. And then just a train tied down there with some cool things tied in, their controller, various buildings. Some of the buildings have lights inside of them. And then, like I mentioned earlier, most of these buildings are from Menards, including this one on the end, an actual Menards store, along with a rescue station there. So a few different things going on with this display here. Got some amusement park rides in the mix as well. So just kind of showing what you can do in the model railroad hobby. And then this larger scale layout here had a few trains running. Great displays for children and their families to take a look at and gain interest in the model railroad hobby. So just a look around here at the cafeteria section of the show. Definitely more wide open here. And then getting back into the last of the vendors, Morcato N scale here. Rolling stock, various locomotives. Looks like a Southern Pacific Daylight in the mix there. So steam, diesel, lots to choose from here at this vendor. Mostly being N scale. So averaging about $100 on one of these locomotives here. Looks like they're offering $20 off on some of these units. This one here is a full-on passenger train. And then we've got some more various Athearn Blue Box for sale. Loose freight cars, about $10 each. More of that continuing on here. So, some Atlas tank cars, Athearn locomotives with power or B units, several of those, some Bowser locomotives, so another look around here. You can kind of see what I mean by being set up in the hallways, but various vendors with photos, more rolling stock and locomotives there. Moving along back to the vendors, here we have a breast cancer awareness locomotive. More O gauge and O scale vehicles and rolling stock. Averaging $50 or so here. Some Bachmann passenger cars. $200 on that set. And then more various HO scale rolling stock and locomotives here from various manufacturers, as well as more O gauge, it looks like. So lots and lots to choose from at the Peoria Train Fair today. More N-scale. $20 on average, it looks like, for the rolling stock. More various locomotives. Also some HO scale, Green Bay and Western. Lots of Tyco for sale. That's a blast from the past. And of course, more Caterpillar. Headquarters here in Peoria, Illinois. And then more various HO scale rolling stock, O gauge. Even got some NASCAR trailers in the mix. I saw a Mark Martin race car hauler there, but it looks like it was missing the tractor trailer. Otherwise, I definitely would have purchased that today. I'm a big Mark Martin fan and stock car racing fan as well. So here we've got various literature, magazines, books for sale. Continuing that theme here, pretty typical for any model railroad show. Some GE and electromotive operating manuals. More various books and magazines. Lots of timetables. A lot of people collect old timetables. So lots of those here. Lots of passenger schedules. More various locomotives, RS1s, GP7s. Lots of Proto 2000 for sale at this show here today. Lots of quality locomotives here, with various road names. I really enjoyed these Illinois terminal locomotives. Very nice quality on those. Looks like here's some Bachmann. Actually, it's Stewart Hobbies. My apologies there. Some really nice quality hoppers here from various road names. Lots of high quality cabooses as well. Very good prices on these. And various other scenery and buildings for sale, as well as some backdrops for your layout. More rolling stock, more buildings. More vehicles for sale. Even some Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars. Those really take me back to my childhood and playing with Hot Wheels and Matchbox. I had a ton of those cars when I was younger. More various buildings in different scales. And then another look around to kind of get a lay of the land for you viewers today. This vendor here had a lot of custom rolling stock and so forth. Of course, more Caterpillar. And now into some of the more custom pieces. So, got Dr. Pepper in there, Caterpillar, of course, different breweries and alcohol manufacturers on these. Even got an Elvis one there in the mix. More Caterpillar. Pretty neat. So this vendor here is more of gearing towards novelty items. Here we have a Pepsi train. And then here it looks like a Christmas theme. And more novelty rolling stock here. Lots of Union Pacific locomotives for sale. More loose freight cars. $5 a piece or 5 for $20. Various decoders and soundtracks for sale here. And another picture of those for sale. And then more in the box, brand new rolling stock. So lots of Atlas, lots of Walthers. Again, feel free to pause the video to get a better look if you need to. So some Bowser locomotives, Intermountain. Lots more Atlas here. Some Kato. More locomotives. I really like that Union Pacific SP patch locomotive there. So $80 on the Southern Pacific patch locomotive. Very nice locomotive there. Here we've got some BLI, it looks like. More Proto 2000. And more various loose rolling stock. More of that continuing on here. And continuing on here. So lots of rolling stock for your model railroading needs. So that's going to do it here today for us at the Peoria Train Fair. Just another look around here. Got some upcoming model railroad show flyers at the front. a look down the hallways as I was describing earlier, and then the price for the show. So after the show, me and my dad headed into Peoria itself. The show was in East Peoria. So we're crossing the bridge here into Peoria just to kind of show you a look at the downtown area. We are going to head into town and grab a bite to eat at a local barbecue restaurant. So just a look around at Peoria here for you if you're not from the area. And now we are going to head into Smokin Notes BBQ to grab some barbecue for lunch before we hit the road back north towards Wisconsin. So just a look at the menu here and what they have to offer, as well as their prices. I thought the prices were very reasonable. We both got the pulled pork sandwich. I got it with coleslaw, and my dad got it with fries. But a quite large menu here at Smokin Notes BBQ. So a picture here of the inside of the restaurant, very modern and clean. And then a photo here of my lunch. So pulled pork sandwich, coleslaw with some iced tea. So this is what I scored at the train show today. Very happy to have purchased these. It was well worth the trip down to Peoria. Here is the show flyer for you to take a look at. And that's going to do it for this episode of RockRiverRails. So I want to thank you for watching the video and attending the show with us through the video. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a like. Leave me a comment with your thoughts as well. What did you think of the show? What did you think of the vendors and what they had for sale? What did you think of the prices, the location, and the show itself? So definitely leave me a comment, and also subscribe to our channel. And this is Travis from RockRiverRails, and I will talk to you guys next time.